Welcome, dear students, to the very first lecture of your master's degree journey. This is not only the beginning of a course, but also the opening of a new chapter in your academic and professional life. Entering a master's program is a significant achievement, one that reflects your dedication, ambition, and readiness to engage with knowledge at a deeper and more critical level. Our session today will focus on effective reading, a cornerstone skill that underpins all higher learning. At this advanced stage, reading is no longer a passive activity, it is an active, analytical, and strategic process. It requires you to question, interpret, and connect ideas in ways that will enrich your research, sharpen your critical thinking, and enhance your ability to contribute meaningfully to scholarly discussions. In this lecture, we will explore practical strategies for approaching complex texts, identifying main arguments, distinguishing between essential and supplementary details, and engaging with academic material in a way that builds both comprehension and insight. These skills will not only support your success in this course but will also serve as a strong foundation throughout your master's journey and beyond. So, let us begin this first step together, with curiosity, focus, and the confidence that every page you read will take you closer to becoming not just a reader of knowledge, but a producer of it. Reading strategies are essential techniques that enable learners to interact with texts in a structured and purposeful way. They are not merely about moving your eyes across the page, rather, they provide systematic approaches that help readers improve comprehension, recall, and interpretation of written material. By applying the right strategy, you can transform reading from a passive activity into an active process of engaging with ideas, questioning assumptions, and drawing meaningful connections. These strategies are particularly important in academic contexts, where texts are often dense, complex, and filled with arguments that require careful analysis. Instead of reading every word with the same level of attention, effective strategies allow you to identify key points, distinguish between major and minor details, and recognize the author's perspective. They also enhance retention by encouraging you to process and reflect on what you read, rather than simply memorizing information. Moreover, reading strategies emphasize the skills of critical thinking and comprehension. Through techniques such as skimming for main ideas, scanning for specific details, annotating key arguments, summarizing sections in your own words, or questioning the author's assumptions, students become more active participants in the learning process. These methods not only improve understanding in the short term but also help develop independent, reflective readers who can engage critically with any type of material. In this lecture, we will explore some of the most effective strategies, including previewing texts, making predictions, active note-taking, and evaluating arguments, so that you can approach your academic reading with confidence and precision. Each of these strategies, when practiced consistently, will strengthen both your comprehension and your long-term retention of knowledge. Skimming is a purposeful fast-reading technique designed to capture the general meaning or overall big picture of a text without focusing on every word. Instead of reading line by line, the reader moves their eyes quickly across the page, paying special attention to elements that stand out, such as headings, subheadings, topic sentences, keywords, and visual cues like bold or italicized terms. This method allows readers to form an immediate impression of the structure and main ideas of a passage. The primary value of skimming lies in its efficiency. In academic and research settings, students are often faced with an overwhelming volume of articles, books, and reports. Reading each text in detail is neither practical nor time-effective. Skimming helps you determine whether a text is relevant to your purpose, whether it contains useful arguments or data, and whether it deserves a more thorough reading. For example, when searching through journal articles for your thesis, skimming the abstract, introduction, headings, and conclusion can help you decide in a matter of minutes whether the article aligns with your research objectives. Similarly, when preparing for class discussions, skimming enables you to identify the central arguments of a reading assignment, even if time is limited. It is important to remember that skimming does not replace detailed reading, rather, it complements it. Think of it as the first step in your reading process, a way to preview the material, activate prior knowledge, and set a clear purpose for more in-depth study. When practiced effectively, skimming becomes a powerful tool that saves time, increases efficiency, and enhances focus when you later return for closer reading. Scanning is a targeted reading technique designed to locate specific information in a text quickly and efficiently. Unlike general reading or even skimming, scanning does not aim to understand the overall meaning of a passage or capture its main ideas. Instead, the focus is narrow. You run your eyes rapidly over the page, searching for particular keywords, numbers, names, dates, or phrases that answer a specific question or meet a precise need. This technique is especially useful when you already know what information you are looking for. For example, if you are reviewing a research article and want to identify the sample size of a study, you can scan directly for numerical data or the section titled Methodology. Similarly, when preparing for exams, scanning helps you find definitions, quotations, or case examples in textbooks without rereading entire chapters. Scanning is also widely applied in everyday contexts, looking up a word in a dictionary, finding a train departure time in a schedule, or checking a website for a particular statistic. The efficiency of this technique comes from training your eyes to recognize and lock onto the visual patterns of key terms, while ignoring surrounding details. The major advantage of scanning is time-saving. It allows you to bypass irrelevant information and focus only on the data you need, making it ideal for research, test preparation, and problem-solving. However, just like skimming, it should not replace deep reading. Rather, it serves as a complementary tool that enables you to handle large volumes of information with precision and speed. Intensive reading is a deliberate and detailed approach to reading that focuses on a deep and comprehensive understanding of a text. Unlike skimming or scanning, which emphasize speed and efficiency, intensive reading requires readers to slow down and pay close attention to every word, sentence, and paragraph. The goal is not only to grasp the literal meaning but also to analyze the structure, style, and purpose of the text. This method is especially valuable in academic contexts, where critical analysis and interpretation are essential. Through intensive reading, students can uncover the author's arguments, assumptions, and underlying messages. It enables readers to examine how ideas are developed, how evidence is presented, and how the text is organized to achieve its purpose. This kind of close reading fosters critical thinking and encourages reflection on the broader implications of the material. For example, when studying a journal article or a piece of literature, intensive reading involves examining the choice of vocabulary, the logic of the arguments, the tone, and the rhetorical strategies used by the author. In language learning, it can also mean analyzing grammar, sentence structures, and vocabulary in detail to build linguistic competence. The key benefits of intensive reading are deep comprehension, stronger analytical skills, and improved ability to engage in academic writing and discussions. While it is time-consuming, it is essential for mastering complex and sophisticated texts, such as research papers, theoretical frameworks, or classical works. In short, intensive reading transforms the reader from a passive consumer of information into an active investigator of meaning, making it an indispensable strategy for advanced study. Extensive reading is a broad and relaxed approach to reading, centered on enjoyment, curiosity, and natural exposure to language. Unlike intensive reading, which requires close analysis of every word and sentence, extensive reading encourages readers to engage with large amounts of text at a comfortable pace, focusing on overall meaning rather than detailed scrutiny. The goal is not to dissect the text, but to experience it as a whole, allowing ideas, stories, and perspectives to flow naturally. This method is often associated with reading for pleasure, novels, magazines, newspapers, or even online articles chosen according to personal interest. When students read extensively, they encounter a wide variety of vocabulary, sentence structures, and styles in authentic contexts. This continuous and enjoyable exposure helps to improve language fluency, reading speed, and comprehension in a way that feels effortless. Extensive reading also broadens horizons. By exploring diverse genres, cultures, and viewpoints, Readers gain new insights into human experiences, global issues, and different ways of thinking. It fosters empathy, cultural awareness, and a lifelong love of learning. Moreover, because the reading is self-motivated and interest-driven, it helps reduce the pressure often associated with academic study, making reading a more enjoyable and sustainable habit. In short, extensive reading is not only a language learning tool but also a window into the world. It enriches both academic growth and personal development by combining knowledge, enjoyment, and discovery.